Okay, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Oops, sorry guys. I was just counting my Marvel money. Suicide Squad is the latest film in the DC Extended Universe. We follow a group of villains that are famous in comic books. Some of them are from the Batman lineup, like Joker, Deadshot, Harley Quinn. We have Captain Boomerang, who is from the Flash Rogues gallery of villains. And one day, Amanda Waller decides to team them all up, decide that these guys will come more in handy as a group and do missions for them and still have nothing to lose for, because they're villains who would really care about these people. And she decides to just team them up and go up against a bigger threat. And this is really an unusual take. We always have comic book movies set on heroes. This is one of the very few times where a villain is the center of the lead. And now we get a perspective of how they deal with it, and a day in the life of a villain goes with this movie. What an entertaining movie, guys. From the start, it just sets the tone. We need to give a little bit of background with some characters, because these are going to be our main people for the film, and we need to get used to them also, since this is a young universe. But it set the tone so well. I had a fun time watching this movie because the characters were just so amazing to look at. They were entertaining. They had their serious times, but it didn't look like they were just all sad and angry. There were times that someone would crack a joke, and just people looked like they were having a good time, whether it was on the camera or behind the camera. The actors who portray these characters just looked like they were having a good time. You have Will Smith, who plays Deadshot, who gets like the most background in this film, but he works, and I thought he might have overshadowed the film, but no, Will Smith as Deadshot had the appropriate amount of screen time. He's a villain, but yet you can still relate to him as a human being. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, she embodies whatever Harley Quinn is in the comics. She just does a good job being crazy and just being madly in love with the Joker. You felt her relationship with the Joker, which takes me to Jared Leto as the Joker. Jared Leto did a good Joker on his own. I loved his interpretation too. Every Joker we have gotten is very different. He was not bad. He was good for the interpretation he was given. He was more of like a mobster Joker. He was menacing when he popped up on screen. I really wish he was more of the villain of the film. Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang. Jai Courtney is not one of the best actors, but he killed it as Captain Boomerang for the amount of screen time he got in this film. This is my favorite performance of him, and he was just comedic gold. There's one scene that just got me laughing my ass off. I was like, yep, that's what I would have done. Seriously. He was great. Killer Croc is a badass. His presence really just brings out the badass in him. I love seeing him kick ass. He's very menacing, very likable a little bit between the villains. But yeah, he just kicks ass, and I love seeing Killer Croc every time he's on screen. Diablo, I was surprised with Diablo. I wasn't sure what they would take with that character. If he could have been maybe a little bit bland. Give him appropriate amount of backstory too. You felt for him. You understood his motives. He was another crucial part to the team. I loved his character as well. I can really feel the bondage between these people. I felt like in a couple hours they really became a family. They started, getting used to one another. And it was just exciting to see that. It was exciting to see them. And seeing that this was a villain movie. Guys, this is minor spoiler. You can skip ahead or whatever. I'm just going to say, just having Batman sprinkled into this movie, it was great seeing him as like the villain. I was like, man, I can see how they feel now when they have to go up against Batman. This is honestly my favorite DC Extended Universe movie, with the right amount of drama and the right amount of comedy. I really hope DC does more films like this for years to go by, since they're building up the universe. The score was amazing. The music that they picked for this film, each of them had a purpose. At least it described something of the character, so it wasn't just to promote. I feel like it integrated into the story, but in a way where it just described the characters and their background. David Ayer's touch on this is there. You can feel it, especially if you've seen like End of Watch and Fury. His touch is here. He did an impressive job trying to, bring these visuals, these unique visuals, and to the direction a part of the story and make it flow good as the movie went on. Honestly, the editing is not as bad as maybe the theatrical cut Batman v Superman was, but there's sometimes it was a little bit off. But David Ayer did a good job with what he was given. I was loving the group. I was loving how they were just bonding. It's just then there was this act with like the villain, and I won't blame the villain for the movie. It's just you didn't need too much with this villain. You didn't need to have it have sidekicks or whatnot, or you shouldn't have made that person the villain. That villain really wasn't the best one you could have given, especially how DC has this lineage of villains. I feel like you could have picked someone better. I honestly, every time I saw the Joker and it was teasing like he was a villain, I was on board with it. But then I was like, oh no, he's not. And I really wish Joker would have been the central point of this villain. It would have given more reason for the Squad. He's an iconic villain. He has connections with the Squad, so it would have been so much better. And the third act didn't suffer for the film. It's just, I've seen that a lot of times, and we didn't need to make it. We didn't need to present it the way it was. We could have done something more different, and that's where I have problems with. It's not really about the villain. It's not about the story. There are other films that did that and did so well. This one did well too. I just really wish they could have had a more original take, or I know I might have just been, just thinking how the film would have turned out, but I just would have loved it better if the Joker was the villain. And the story, it just needed to be how it was. We got introduced to these villains, we got to know them, we got to see what they're capable of. It was good. It executed on that. Almost all of the Suicide Squad members I loved. I can't wait to see them be brought back in other movies. This was a unique way to make a comic book movie. So overall, had a good time with this film. I love the characters. The third act could have been a little bit more original, but just the admiration of everybody in this film, for the majority, especially of those that I named earlier, those pros overweigh the cons, and I can see DC having an even better bright future than what they have now. They have a good start. It is a little bit bumpy, I can't lie about that, but it's gonna pay off, I feel like, with these two movies. So I'm gonna have to give Suicide Squad a B. Now let me know, guys, what you thought of Suicide Squad. If you guys loved it, if you guys hated, if you're a Marvel or DC fan, if you guys agree with me, if you're a comic book fan, which if you are, high five, guys. You guys are amazing. And let me know, guys, what's your favorite DC film, okay? Mine, to me, is The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight means so much to me. I will explain more about it if I do a review on that film later on. And, as always, roll an empire, laugh, smile, repeat.